Hello, everyone. I'll start with the introduction again so that we also have it in the recording part. Welcome to our Life Science AI Engagement Call. This is a 12th engagement call that we are having. And the topic of today's engagement call is service provider survey results and also Ask Us Anything session. This presentation was created all by our Life Science AI team, and I thank everyone for helping, supporting, and just also you for being here and for listening to us, and also having some questions, because we want questions and we want discussion. Okay, so the first part will be dedicated to the survey results, and for that I have here my colleague Pavlina Plingerova from the UX team, and I'll give the word to her, and she can then present you the whole thing.
Hi everyone, I really enjoyed that I'm here. I will introduce myself in first. My name is Pavlina Plingerova, and I work at Masaryk University Institute of Computer Science, where I am as a service designer, and also I am a leader of small UX team in here. And we also collaborate with LS AAI team on some improvement day service. And today I want to talk about two activities we did, especially user survey and testing some user flow. And we will see if it works. Okay, so at the beginning of this year, we made a survey when we focus on our service provider, which means you. And the goal of the survey was to assess the user satisfaction with the AI service and gather feedback for further feature development and improvement. We asked service providers to rate various aspects of the service, include usability, system, support, documentation, and communication. The survey also aimed to identify how frequently different features are used and how users typically resolve login-related issues. We sent this survey on more than 300 service providers. The questionnaire was completed by 79 respondents in total. Out of these, 37 responses were fully complete and 42 were partially complete. From the partly finished response, we decided to take 3 responses and include them in the final dataset based on their near complete status. So in the end, we used 40 responses for the analysis. We also got response from 30 institutions in total. So it is a very nice example as a target group. And now I want to we picked 3 areas from the questionnaire where we got the most interesting data and some more specific interesting suggestions from you. These areas are support and documentation, communication and education, and issues experienced by end users. In every part, I'm going to talk about the results, and the plan will be shared with you by the LS AAI team. So in the first, I want to start about support and documentation. When we asked about your satisfaction with our service desk and documentation, we used a typical standard method for this, especially customer satisfaction scores. And here you can see the results. You evaluate our service desk as better than our documentation. Both are still evaluated as average. Of course, the numbers don't tell us where the problems are. So we also ask about what you want and where you see issues and what to do better. And for that, we used a typical open questions about our suggestion and comments. The most frequent answers were service is quite good, but you described issues about long delayed, especially in follow-ups with tickets. Also, you feel like the language used is sometimes too technical for you. In documentation, you shared more ideas and comments, but the most often were about information being stored in multiple places. It's not easy to find for you what you need. Also, you mentioned problems with Google Docs, which are outdated. And you also mentioned lack of beginner-friendly information. We also asked about how often do you use our documentation when you communicate with your users, and how you can see that indicates that while official document plays a role, international know-how and direct communication remains essential components of support. So we agreed with LS AAI team on following plans, which is
Yeah, here I'll take over for a bit. So we have created basically 3 plans, and they are all interconnected, especially the first 2 points. So we would like to have one platform where all the documentation would be stored. And since it would be at one place, it would be also easier to navigate for everybody because everything would be here. We also want to review the documentation so that we can avoid some outdated documents, outdated links, and all that. And also we're working towards having federation registry in place where we would have pre-approval options for particular types of requests, which would, again, make it all easier, faster, more user-friendly, just so that everybody finds it easier and faster, more effective to work with, basically. Yeah, now back to Paul.
Okay. The second area where we got interesting data and you have very helpful suggestion is communication and education. We asked 3 questions. One of them was if you know about these calls and if you attended. It was very surprising for us that you didn't know about engagement calls. And Tina has some information about that for you, which we will share in the moment. So the second, we asked which form of communication you prefer. It's not a surprise that the winner is direct email because it is a typical result. It's standard. Everybody wants email. The second is newsletter, and the last one, news on a website. That also makes sense because users visit the website of providers only when they have some problem with their service. And the last one we asked is how you want to be educated. The most preferred format is clearly online workshop with focus on specific topics. There is 29 votes, followed by AI engagement calls, 15 votes. It's still really nice. And only a minority of response, 5, prefer other formats like video tutorials or repositories or documents. After this information, we discussed with LS AAI team what to do because we need to stay in touch with you. And that is the reason why we started with engagement calls. So we prepare a new approach, what we want to try about the communication.
In terms of the plans here, and really thank you for the feedback because this is super valuable for us, especially for me, since I'm organizing the engagement calls right now, and I'm communicating with the communities and service providers and all that. We again came up with 3 points or three plans, 3 approaches, let's say. The first one we already did with this engagement call. We tried to focus on addressing wider audience using more communication channels. So we use email communication, newsletters, Slack channels, and Slack messages. We also were mentioning this call on various community calls where we are attending and all that. And we would like to, of course, continue with this approach so that more and more people within the life science community are aware of it and can join, can talk with us, communicate with us, and just get all the knowledge from here. Regarding the newsletters, thank you for the feedback there, because now we are considering a combination of newsletters and engagement calls, so that we have the newsletters, which you prefer, given the feedback we got, but we still want to have the engagement calls in place because the bottom line is that we want to stay in touch with you on a regular basis. So we'd like to balance these two so that it works effectively, and we'll see how that works in the future. And the third point is that also based on the feedback, we would like to include workshops about specific topics. So the first topic we agreed is to be a training session for you, for service administrators, so that we can talk with you about some issues. We can show you some things, and yeah, just have it like as a regular training session where we can all work together and just be there for you and support you.
Okay, and the last area which I want to talk about in the survey is issues explained by end users. You are our customers, but you have your own users, and that's why we include this part in the survey as well. And we found out that you communicate with your users about login sometimes too. So on slides before, in support and documentation area, you saw that we want to know what you use when you communicate with them, but also we want to know what issues you handle with them. So you send us a lot of answers, and and we cluster them to 4 categories. The first, the biggest one, is login and access problems. Very often you told us that your users cannot find their home institutions. They don't know which login method should use. They don't know where is the registration is done, or they end in some dead end and they don't know what to do. The second area is about the timing. It takes too long to get through the registration. Again, users doesn't know which email address should use, and so on. Of course, there was some issue. There are some issues with user interface confusion, like search bars, buttons. Some pages looks the same, and a lot of pages have too much text. And the last one area is attribute release and institution limitation. So after this feedback and this information, we decide to look closer on 2 typical use cases for the end users and try it on ourselves. And this is end of survey, and we went to user flow testing and analysis. And we create a team with 5 people, including 3 designers and 2 potential users. And AI prepare description of 2 use cases. The first one is first-time user. So we need to go through all the user flow and all the registration and everything. And the second was the same, but we add MFA. And in fact, the fun began, because you can see this is the first user flow for the illustration, and you can see all the screens which user have to go through to get to a service. This picture do not include emails, but only interaction with systems. And it's very interesting. That's around 20 pages and 2 different logins. So also you can see little yellow and pink squares on the screens, and that's our sticky notes from the designers and from the potential users. And that's mean our comments and problem we can see on the screen. In the second user flow, where we add the MFA, you can see every screens from on our response. And here is more than 40 pages and 5 logins, and more 50 sticky notes with other comments and other issues. So after that, I have some typical examples, what we identified a lot of issues, and you can see that for example, how I told before that users can find their institutions. Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't work properly. For example, here you can see a unnecessary next step, display results anyway, and about when you click on that, you still cannot have your answer, because here you can see that our suggestion, MAS, which means Masaryk University, it's not matched with some results, for example, ARNES or ASERN, and so on. Another issue we found out that if you accidentally on purpose use enter, you get in this error notification, which you can just close. You are forced to send it and report a problem. So this is one example. The second example is this is a screen of the second registration in the first user flow, when we get more option than before about how to log in, which it's another it's another example how can user be confused, because in the first registration you see only this. So another great example. And the last one I picked, it's about when you get very nice email, which looks like this, and you click on the link for verify your email, you got the screen that you try to verify your email, which looks like you have some problem because you saw typical yellow color, and also you give you the option to send a new email after you click on link in email. So it's very interesting. And sometimes after you continue, you get this information. So the user can feel that I do everything, but it's not still end. Or you can get another very interesting screen, for example, access denied. So you can feel a little confused because you made the registration, you have to start again because everything looks the same. So this is the examples of some the issues where you notified in a survey, and there is a space for improvement. So after we finish our registration, each of us had to write a feedback where we evaluate the process and how we felt. It helped us and the LS AAI team to understand how our users feel, and we want to continue with this user flow testing and analysis. And right now we get all of our comments and start to analyze them, and we are still working on that. So so far we have created 3 categories to label all important issues. The categories are process and system, with emails notification, then UI and standards, where we going to use typical heuristic analysis and standards from the Nielsen. And the last one is information and content, when we are focusing on what we need to tell our users and when. And we want to reduce a lot of text. So overall, the biggest problem is that the user doesn't know where he is, what he is doing, and why. So it can be very frustrating at times. And there were the following issues, like too many pages, too much text on the pages, and no progress tracking. So user really can get easily lost and feel frustrated. And what we plan to do with that, what we can fix easily, we did. For example, in the second user flow, we find out issue about the registration, because before we have the registration to ELIXIR AAI and life science. Now we registration on the life science. The second, I have a second example, and it's about policy and the processing of person data and privacy notice. This is how it looks like before, and the new one will be much easier and user-friendly and easygoing. But some issues we can fix so easy, so we are working on that. And for example,
oh yeah, I'll cover this one. So in general, we want to reduce the amount of pages user needs to go through, because you saw that there are quite some pages the user need to go through. So this is something that we want to reduce for sure, to make it faster and yeah, user friendly. And that also goes hand in hand with reducing the amount of text on each page, which we partially already did, as you just saw. This is for the application, the registration. So it's more compact, easier to navigate, but all the necessary information is still there. And yeah, we also have here the point about the content. So we want to really make it clear and easy for the user, so that they know the progress, where they exactly are, what's the status of all that, because at this moment, this is not what we have there. And of course, we will be testing everything before implementation. We already did the testing on us here, so we will continue with that, just to make it all better. Yeah, so this would be the end of the first part of the presentation of the results. I would like to thank you, Bao, for sharing all this information with you, for giving us this presentation. And I would also like to thank you all for participating in this survey. And we will definitely be sending you more after we work on the things, and we will be improving them. So we would, again, of course, would love to hear your feedback. So thank you all. And I will now stop the recording, and we can move to the Ask Us Anything part of this call.